Hey, welcome to another edition of Erudite Insight. So, a few years ago, there was a petition signed by thousands of people to make Black Lives Matter a hate group. It is the right of the American people, but it is also a sad example of ignorant, biased perceptions. I bring this up again because we are now faced again with seeing racism on a rise in this country, and it is disgusting. See, I know a few of people who I know that follow us will be offended by what I'm getting ready to say. But I will tell you it needs to be said. And I also will welcome your opposing views. But I will warn you that I will pull no punches. I will not acquiesce to ignorant opines. You need to come with facts. See, I believe we all should get angry. We all should get angry at the racism that's going on, and we should deem a hate group for what it does, an action that it does. Who has Black Lives Matter killed or assaulted? As of today, I count no one. However, I do know that some activists have been shot at, and they have been assaulted. They've been ridiculed in public. And I hear the people say all lives matter, but they use it as a deflection. Because if all lives matter, they would care about what's going on with people who've been hurt. It's not equatable to telling someone to shut up. It's not equatable for you to use that to be able to stifle what I'm saying. And I also know that there's a congenital, ignorant, partisan idea because they have no desire to take on the cause themselves. No, it is easier to throw stones at those that are trying to solve a problem than to take up the challenge for yourself, to bring your own thoughts and interpretations into the discussion. Here's a question for you who are on that side, who want to make Black Lives Matter a hate group, who go along with that belief. Before Black Lives Matter, what group or groups stood up to protest the multi-generational mistreatment of African Americans in this country? Who did it? If you say Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, you're living in the present time and you are probably delusional as well as you are predictable because a lot of racists use them as scapegoats. No one was saying anything about the systemic problems in our country concerning African American killings and incarcerations due to the malfeasance of police officers since the civil rights movement, since Dr. King, the Black Muslims. Here's another question. Before Black Lives Matter, how many of our youth, black or white, were even talking about racism as a real issue that they needed to confront and conquer and get past? How many were coming together to try to fight it? How many blacks and whites were coming together? No answer, or at least not in the last 25 years. See, the issue is not Black Lives Matter. It is the indentured servitude that Americans feel to this system. They willfully allow the law to corrupt as long as it does not affect them or their families. It is a pathetic truth that has allowed white supremacy to bolster its numbers in the recent years. It is a pathetic truth that has allowed white supremacy and Black Americans to be tortured and killed for centuries. Its power in our society is continually growing. It is moronic and antediluvian in nature, but yet it persists in enabling folks to do evil things. Another question. Are you one of the ones that claim that Black Lives Matter does nothing to combat Black inner city crime? Is that your deal? If you are one of those people, black or white, let's hit a few facts. You see, during the civil rights movement, multiple groups were working for the promotion of equality. From the 50s into the 70s, they worked hard and brought in multicultural groups to help. But here's the thing. They were ridiculed too. But we never placed all the weight in one group. You know, we had the SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, with Dr. King. We had the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. We had the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. We had the Congress of Racial Equality, CORE. We had the National Urban League and the Black Panther Party for Urban Defense. We had the Black Muslims. We had many groups. The point is that we had several movements trying to hit problems from all sides because we knew one group couldn't carry it alone. Now we have people out here who are saying they won't support Black Lives Matter because they can't do everything. Because they think Black Lives Matter should be everywhere, but do not support them financially, spiritually, emotionally. I have seen silly celebrities attack our young people, but offer no assistance or mentorship. You know, these plebeians and sycophants throw shade on the efforts of young people who are trying to solve a racial problem that has existed for centuries. They're trying to come to some form of change. And yet we follow these celebrities, even though we know they have biased agendas. They have bosses and financiers that demand their allegiance. The musicians, the actors, the influencers, they're not speaking for your interests. They are slowly promoting their self-interest. And if you think Black Lives Matter are not doing anything in your community, then I will challenge you to get up and take a stand in the group. Tell them how they can help your community. Be an agent of change yourself and expand the mission. Maybe open up another organization that focuses on the thing you want to focus on. I would encourage you to question these so-called influencers, celebrities, and to get involved and help finance the inner city side of the movement. Stop the violence. If you refuse to do that, if you refuse to start a movement on your own, if you think that the flip and put downs and barnacle holes that you put on these movements are justified, then you are part of the problem. You are uncalled for and unfounded in your approach, and you need to do better. Open your eyes and understand you don't have to insult their efforts. All you need to do is step up, make a difference in your own way, teach, educate, mentor, inspire. If you're not trying to do either, I'm going to be very clear with you. Please shut up. You are hindering progress and making yourself look foolish. Lastly, I ask that those who do not want to help, those who you allow yourself to stand in the way, move. Just move. Get out of the way of progress. I don't have to agree with everything that I see in every movement. And there, I would love to add a little bit more structure to what I see in some of the Black Lives Matter groups. But at least I encourage folks to go out there and push for difference. I encourage these young people to fight for themselves and for those that they care about so that change can come. If you are a person that has seen violence, then you need to be out there protesting and getting involved in whatever way you can. These young people are doing that. They protest. They are not terrorists. They're not criminals. We need to encourage them. They're trying to make a difference. For thousands of people to sign a petition to call them a hate group is wrong. We can do better. We should do better. Again, I welcome any opines, disagreements, support for this Erudite Insight. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed day.